Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Are you finally ready to get some free-to-play Gladiator shards? Because in this event coming up on Tuesday at 2 p.m., you are going to have a chance to get up to 100 Gladiator shards. Now, it is very possible to get that extra 40 shards if you have checked out the table in advance. For sure, people will get 60. But if you follow the tips in this video, you will get the full 100. And for those of you who have had terrible event orb luck, then don't worry. At least you will eventually get him unlocked or get an additional 100 shards towards whatever your goal is with Gladiator. So if you want to learn all of that and more in today's video, make sure you keep watching. Let's boil this down. Now, before we get started with the math, though, I do kind of want to do a quick rundown of the rewards at the various different milestones here. I did this on the blog, but I just want to kind of let you know, very broadly, like, that you're going to be getting Gladiator shards as you go along, of course. It stops out at 60 shards here at milestone 10, but this milestone 15 is quite possible to get. And what's quite nice about this event is that you do get a 4-to-1 ratio on your ISO 8 energy. However, it is a 6-day milestone, not a 7-day milestone. So do keep that in mind. I guess it must have been because of Labor Day, right? And that's why they're bringing it back to Monday, or they didn't want an event to start on Monday, on the Labor Day Monday. So that's why it's starting on Tuesday. I don't know, but they're bringing the regular events back to Monday next week anyway. So that's just what's on the plan. Luckily, the blitzing portion is extremely limited. Thank God for that, because I hate blitzing with a passion. But otherwise, it's not a terrible event, and it should be pretty reasonable to do. The web milestone as well, just to quickly run down this before I get into the tables, 65,000 treats. This should be more than sufficiently easy to do, especially because of the pocket or shattered dimension, fiasco. You should be overflowing with treats from the additional milestones from old enemies, so you should have no problems clearing and spending 65,000 treats over the course of this event. And before we do more of that, I wanted to talk briefly about this one, which is Tolerance's Extinction. This is the Raid Alliance milestone, which is also starting on the same day. However, it is a 5-day milestone. Now, for me, I don't have the numbers as far as the milestone points on the Orcus nodes. This event is very similar and familiar if you remember the Sasquatch Diamond leaderboard that was on the first Spotlight Raid event, where you got bonus points depending on if you were clearing the regular nodes, the Spider Society nodes, or the Alpha Flight nodes. Like, the Alpha Flight nodes had a lot more additional points. And so I don't know what it's going to look like for this event. I personally think that it's going to be the same amount of milestone points on every Orcus node, or they could get additional points on the Tech and Mystic section. But honestly, I'm not sure how much points are on each node. I will be doing a breakdown, though, and probably posting it on my Discord server when it goes live. That way I can calculate it and have a grand total and figure out how far we can get in this milestone. Because realistically, the only thing that we know here is the 192k limit, and that we're earning some allied supply orb fragments from the free claim like we normally do. So as far as how far down this milestone we're going to get, I can only say that you're probably going to get at least milestone 12, but normally for these alliance milestones, we can normally get to like 14 or 15. And this is where you're going to get a cipher for the showcase for the Orcus stuff. And then you're also going to get some Sentinel Orcus orb fragments. Now, as of recording this video, it's not out yet in the store, in the game, so I can't tell you how good or bad these orbs are. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, probably 10, maybe 12 of these Sentinel orbs, that these are going to be the first taste, essentially, of these Orcus orbs. And, maybe they're better and improved from what they were for the Annihilator orbs, but honestly, I can't tell you that. And we'll be talking about this probably when this kind of information is more available as far as the team orbs, and we're going to see, if it's really shit like it was for Annihilators. But given that they're not giving you too many, I'm fingers crossed that maybe there's some guaranteed Sentinel shards in here. One could hope, right? So let's just jump on back to the math here. This is the recap for the month of whatever the hell this is. I don't know. There was like the 3-week event, anyways. So the subtotal is 642K. If you've done everything over the last 3 weeks, including what you're going to do in this week as well, then you should have a surplus of about 42,000. So if you've been following along and collecting everything, you should have no problems clearing this. The margin's not as big as it normally would be. Sometimes it goes up to about 80 to 100K as far as a margin, like a plus margin goes. But this one is not. It's about 42K. So if you miss things else, actually, I forgot the free claim Fridays, but wasn't this absolute garbage? It was too. It was like 500. I think there was 3 of them and they're like 500. This is absolute garbage. So it didn't even matter. So that didn't make a difference in terms of the numbers. Anyways, so that was that. We'll be able to clear the 600K and you'll be able to collect, I don't know, there's more Annihilator orbs, team orbs in there as well. So congratulations on your gotcha orb RNG fiasco. But let's talk about a greater purpose because that's why we're here, right? So it's a 6-day event, ISO 8 energy, Crucible, Blitz with Annihilators, and spending treats. That part's easy. So 220K is the milestones required. It is, of course, Whalestones. The event item you can collect at 50,000. This is also fairly easy to get. This is milestone 13. There's about 102,000 radioactive treats in milestone 12, which I think is more than easy enough to get. However, you could probably get this milestone 14, given that Gladiator's 40 shards, which I just said you can get. So it's probably more like plus 50,000. So it's honestly, it's probably closer to about 152,000, which is pretty good, actually. Just make sure you spend these. And I think that's milestone 14, right? What was that? 14, yeah. Make sure you're spending this, because make sure you're on top of spending this. This is from Pocket Dimension, right? So I'm recording this on Sunday. So this is all, Pocket Dimension treats. I need to start spending this, because otherwise, with only 13 days left as a recording, by the time you're watching this is probably 12 days. Yeah, start buying stuff, because otherwise you're going to get caught out and you don't want to have to power core. I should be paying attention a little bit more, but you don't want to be caught out and having to core just to spend your treats, right? So make sure you do that, but make sure you're also keeping enough for the event as well. There should be a leaderboard payout actually from old enemies, so you should be more than fine with that. The total web milestone points for this is 12,000. This is 2,000 milestone points and 10,000 orb fragments. I believe it's called the Crimson Council orb, right? I think that's this event. And I believe it's a combination of Alpha Flight and Illuminati characters, or at least that's what the data mine said. And it's like we even need any more of that from all of the pocket dimensions being run, but whatever. Anyway, 65,000 radioactive treats spent to get that. So 4-to-1 on the ISO 8 energy is a pretty good ratio, and hopefully you've been hoarding. Hopefully you listened to, I think, my data mines, but also the blog post. This is me as of Sunday. I might core a little bit more into this so that by the time the event goes live, that I have more by Tuesday. So looking pretty good. If you have about over 2,000 ISO energy going into the event, you're looking pretty good, and it should be pretty easy for you to get those additional Gladiator shards. There's going to be 24,000 points that you can pick up in Cosmic Crucible. This is only 12 attacks. It's a little bit it's Monday, 6-day event. Oh, it's because it's starting on Tuesday. That's why. So yeah, okay, false alarm. So they did actually consider that, because there's only going to be 2 trials actually, because it'll run to Sunday, right? So I think it should still run 3 trials, no? But anyways, you only need to do 12 attacks regardless. So Tuesday's day 3. No, my bad. So I'm an idiot. I was forgetting which days. I forgot Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. This event starts on Tuesday, so there's only 2 trials. Okay, so make sure you get your attacks in to do this. Battle in Blitz with Annihilators, that's 1,000. You need like 1 rotation or 2 rotations, like super easy. But you only get bonus points. Weirdly, if they're 5 yellow, like there's no bonus points for 6 or 7, it's just 5. I don't get that. But anyways, there's some additional points here. This is not like free to play, but if you have this, great, you'll have an easier time on this event. Some additional points at 5 for Gladiator Gore and Thanos Endgame. Now, the calculations for ISO 8 energy is as follows. This is your typical daily subtotal, which is about 1,130, including all of this stuff. You get 1 free refresh basically every day from your villain's objective, and then you would need to core potentially up to 3 more times, which is about 150 cores daily in ISO 8 energy. and that would give you 1130. Multiply it by 4, that's 4500. Multiply that by 6, and you get about 27,000 points. So if we add this 27,000 plus the 5 plus the 24 plus the 12, and without the free claim, you get about 68,000. Now, with the free claim, this is pretty close to milestone 15 for those additional gladiator shards. Milestone 15 is 71,000 points here. So it's about 3,000 off, but if you get about 500 points at least on the free claim, you could not, right? Like they've had some really shitty free claims before, so it's possible that the free claim shit, and you're gonna have to make up with on more ISO 8 energy, which would be a difference of 3,000 points. So 3,000 divided by 4, that would be an extra 750 energy. And so, yeah, if the free claims are that garbage, you might need to make up the difference on that. So keep that in mind. But if it's okay and you get 500 points a day, then you can do this easily with 150 cores daily over 6 days. And that'll get you to the milestone 15. I did want to put a scenario down, though, if you were willing to do more, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense to do this because there's no leaderboard. And if you did 350 cores a day, it would only get you to about 74,000 points, which is not really enough for milestone 16 at 81,000. That being said, milestone 16 is quite good because you get 80,000 radioactive treats, 25,000 purple ions. There's actually 100 crimson phosphates, and there's also 10 Annihilator Thanos orbs, for better or for worse. You know, the orbs are terrible, but you know, if you've hoarded your ISO 8 energy for this event, you very much can get that, because the difference between 68k and 81k is 13,000 points. 13,000 divided by 4, it's about 3,000 energy, but that's not including the free claims. So you very well could get to milestone 16 if you've hoarded the ISO 8 energy. So do keep this in mind. But if you have not hoarded, I wouldn't bother coring extra beyond, you know, the 150 daily. It's just not worth it. So yes, this would be on top of that, actually. So if you wanted to do the 350 cores daily, you would need to still have hoarded energy to get to milestone 16. So it's tough. I probably wouldn't do it, honestly, if you haven't already like started to hoard for it. So some final notes for this event, though. The main free-to-play input for this, obviously, is the ISO 8 energy. This is completely up to you, though, how much you want to do. I don't think it's worth pushing to milestone 16 unless you've pre-hoarded ISO 8 energy. You know, otherwise I would just stick to milestone 15, which is the extra 40 gladiator shards, and I think that's perfectly fine. Like I said, the gladiator 100 shards is possible with minor ISO 8 refreshes and coring, assuming the free claim isn't trash. And milestone 16 is possible after that, but would require more ISO 8 coring or have hoarded prior. So that is a greater purpose. We will all hopefully walk away with 100 gladiator shards, barring something completely awful. And, you know, it's still a little bit unfortunate, right? We've had to wait essentially a full month to get a gladiator free-to-play event, but that is the new normal in Marvel Strike Force, and I'm still going to be here covering these events to help guide you through this process. And there's going to be more event videos and also kind of power core related videos in the days to come as well. We have my Should You Core Sentinel video that's going to be coming out tomorrow. And then I'm going to be doing a more broader outline of power core spending in this new sort of gotcha era of Marvel Strike Force, because that's kind of where we're headed, and that's what the new normal is. So keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you ring the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe so you know when these videos are coming out. And that's going to be the end of this one. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And as always, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you all later. Boilon, signing out.